Hi, what's happening, all you Move, Think, Smile followers? It's Adam Von Enns, and I've got one of our absolutely favorite, phenomenal, amazing Move, Think, Smile staff people with us, the incredible Robin Morgan. Now, Robin, this is a really cool episode because Robin really specializes in what we call conversions. And we don't mean, getting copy up and going, but we're talking about actually digital marketing. So we know that when it comes to having a powerful message and when you're using paid advertising, first and foremost, you've got to have your message down. You've got to have your positioning down. You got to reside at the level that people are thinking at, under subconscious level to get them to take and click. But then once you have that down, you've got to make sure that that message, that ad gets in front of to the right eyeballs, but not just the right eyeballs, but the right eyeballs at the right time. And it used to be really easy to do this. Like Facebook is well known for having an incredible advertising platform, but they've made some recent changes in the past 6 months, and including in the next 30 days, that are stripping away the whole reason we love digital marketing in the first place. And that is the ability to be able to pinpoint the people who are in our tribe. They're taking that all away. They're making it harder. Advertising costs are going out the roof. What used to cost like $3 for a lead is now like $50 to $75.
Yep.
But there are some very secret things that Robin is going to share with you guys today to make sure that, to kind of show you how health and wellness experts are actually using paid advertising and are having $10,000 days. And I'm not saying this number out of thin air. Like our clients, Kinder and Nicole, just had a $10,000 day. Yeah. 2 clients, 5K apiece. And we're going to talk about today in this episode exactly how to optimize your digital advertising so you can make it good for you too. Robin, great to have you here.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Let's just start with the nonsense that we're seeing. Like, what's going on with the ad costs and this whole they're taking away all the interests and.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been advertising with Facebook at all over the past several years or since the beginning, they're known for making changes that make ad managers crazy. And especially folks that don't get into Facebook ads every day, these changes can totally derail you. But the one that since in the past few years, I feel like we had this iOS update, which changed a lot of things with privacy and the way Facebook wanted to also portray itself, because Apple really made a stand and said, you don't want to share this data with everybody. And Facebook kind of dialed some things in. So there's a lot of privacy changes. But what just happened this past January is probably the most impactful, challenging thing, especially for folks in the health and wellness industry, which is they are taking away so many options for targeting. And that's exactly why we love Facebook, right, Adam? Like, it's not like a billboard where you're just showing it to everybody. You can show it to people who have kids that are 3 years old and drive a Mazda Miata, or at least that used to be, right? I mean, some of that may be true still. But so many things have just been taken away from us.
And it's making it really tough. And and I totally forgot about the whole iOS thing, right? So basically, and now that's not Facebook's fault. Okay, this is Apple, right? So Apple comes out, they've got their new mobile devices. And for those of you not familiar with it, basically, if you've got an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, with the newer ones, and you've got the new operating system on iOS 14, you have the ability as an Apple user to say, do not track me. And so all the tracking that we use as marketers just doesn't work for these people anymore. So it's becoming more and more important to make sure that what you're saying is on point. But today we're talking about when you have that on point, how to get it in front of the right eyeballs at the right time. So even if they have their tracking off, you know that you're going to get clicks and people are going to take action and take the next step to want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So that's a tough part right there. But the whole, they're removing the interest, I guess you're seeing kind of 2 areas, right? So you've got the personal identification, and then you have kind of the non-use stuff. So kind of tell us about what you're seeing, why this is happening.
Well, we've known for a while that Facebook wants to keep its experience for its users positive. So even though they've given us historically so many ways to target individual users, they don't want any individual user to feel like it's creepy or that Facebook is spying on them or bringing up something that they'd rather forget about while they're scrolling the news feed. For example, somebody that has diabetes or somebody going through menopause. And interestingly, our clients are advertising to exactly those people, and we figured out how to do it. But Facebook won't let you call out somebody for a certain health concern, and that was really what happened initially in January. Is it was going to take away all of our options. Like, we could get around it by targeting certain organizations or certain magazines and things that would be interesting to people suffering with a certain health condition, so we could find those people and show them we can help them, right? And now we cannot do that.
Yeah, so this is a great example. So we've got some diabetes experts that we work with, right? So it used to be we
Mhm.
could go in there. Now you got to be really careful, because if you use the word diabetes in an ad, they're going to just nix you.
Right.
They're going to decline your ad. They're going to shut your account down. So you have to be creative in the copy,
Yeah.
and we're really good at that. And it used to be, it's like, hey, if they like the American Diabetes Association, which was an
Exactly.
interest, you could tag in an ad. It would show it to people. You do really good, but they're taking that away. They're
Yeah.
taking that away. And so we've already been out there testing stuff, and we're finding out that we've got some super secret things that make sure that the diabetes people are still getting the message. And then the experts are actually helping them lower their A1C score naturally. And we're making this world a healthier place. And it's a giant win all the way around.
Yeah.
So we're seeing, and it has to do, it's kind of almost like HIPAA, right? HIPAA compliant almost.
To me, it feels a lot like that. But then, just to confuse things even more, they're taking away other targeting options like Tony Robbins, for example. And I think some of the like Success Magazine, don't quote me on all of them, but like Forbes, all of those seem to be in a group of items that are they just disappeared. And Facebook didn't properly prepare us for that, although they said they were going to take out some redundancies and some options that weren't targeted very often. Like, we were just talking about kiteboarding came out. It was just it seems random from the outside, for sure.
Well, they're even getting
But
down to professions too. Like, you can't target doctors, you can't target chiropractors, you can't list these interests anymore inside of your advertising campaign.
yes, but all is not lost, right, Adam?
Now, all is not lost. All is not lost for sure. But so you've got the iOS thing, and then of course there's more competition than ever, and everybody's out there,
Oh,
and they're making it really. They're trying to penalize, the health and wellness experts. Like, we
yeah,
have better intention than a lot of. Well, let's just say there are some industries that are questionable, right? There are some marketers out there that are questionable in what they're doing and how they're doing things. But when it comes to health and wellness, we didn't come into health and wellness because we did it because we want to help people,
yeah,
right? We didn't
yeah,
do it to be shady. And
yeah.
so when we've got a really good intention, but Facebook is taking all that away, it just makes it so expensive. But there are easier ways to get around that, right?
Yeah, ad costs have gone up. So one of the things that, I really want to share is, don't just jump in and run an ad. Don't jump in there right now without having a plan and knowing that your messaging is dialed in and knowing what your strategy is, because you're just going to throw money away. And I see that all the time. Not only are people throwing money away because they don't understand the new ecosystem, I guess, of Facebook ads, but they're also getting their accounts shut down, because again, there's a lot of policy that Facebook has, and you could read every single word and comply with Facebook policy, and then for some reason your account gets shut down or the ad gets rejected. So you have to be ready to either get an appeal or just be extra cautious, because the more often that happens, the higher your ad costs, and you have the ability to be shut out of Facebook entirely, and that could close a whole business, really.
That always blows my mind too. It's like, out of nowhere, when they figure out that you're trying to be a good person, you're trying to help somebody improve their health for the long term, instead of just managing and mitigating the symptoms like our traditional sickness model, they want to penalize you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, Robin, so how are our clients able to get out there, and they're having 10K days, they're having 15K months, 10K days, they're getting 24K clients, which happened recently. They're basically, we've got some clients where their February goal, they're at 60% of it in the first 6 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are we doing? Because even if you look at the admin, When I mean the advertising admin, you go in there and it's changing all the time. They're changing conversions. They're changing what
Yes.
kind of strategy do I want to have? Is it traffic? Is it leads now? I don't know. You hear all these people say the different things. So what would you say are, what's working now for health and
Yeah.
wellness experts?
Yeah, I think that what is really good news on this, and yes, please be careful and all that, is Facebook, first of all, is still a wonderful place to advertise. You still can get a great value for your money. And we're very grateful for the platform, as frustrating as it can be at times, right? Like we definitely utilize it. And really what it comes down to is having a strategy that's going to withstand all of these changes. And what I mean by that is really focusing in on your message, because now one of the things that we are testing, refining works is having a broader audience. So for some, that could mean just parents or women from 30 to 40, and then you're going to get them to click on your ad if the message is exactly what they need to hear at the time they need to hear it. So that's the strategy. It's all about communication, right?
Yeah, guys. So let's just lay it down. Okay, we're going to give you the exact strategy to use in your Facebook advertising. It's very simple. Run a conversion campaign. Set your budget up. We suggest about $50. That's kind of like the sweet spot there. We've tested everything from 20 to 30 to 40 to 100.
That's
Started at
a
50
day.
bucks.
Yep.
That's a day, $50
Yep.
a day. And then what you want to do is and because we now are looking at broader audiences, you got to let it optimize a little bit longer. So it used to be 5 to 7 days. You would know if this thing was great. People were, now it's going to be more like probably 10 to 15. So that's how you do the ads. It's really that simple. That's what's working right now. Don't worry about getting nitpicky with if they like this and they don't like this and they love this, but exclude people here and all this kind of stuff. Don't even worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
What's working? Like Robin said, okay, so let's say you're working with, oh, I don't know, um, postpartum women with abdominal gaps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Diastasis, right? And they're having problems. They're back pain. They've got back pain. They've got incontinence. They're leaking anytime they laugh, sneeze, cough, pick up the kids, whatever. You know, used to be you could go out there and target, okay, well, obviously you could target parents, which is cool. So you can say women, parents, but then you could get down to like, you know, this happens to like 100% of the women who have babies have abdominal gaps, right? And
Mm-hmm.
60% of them don't close. So how do we used to be able to go in there and say, okay, this is what we want to do. But now we're just keeping that, okay, give me women who
Yeah.
look like they might have kids between 40 or between like 30 and 50.
Right. Right. Yeah. And then you just have to hit them with the right message. And that's how you win at Facebook. Also, I'm going to add, Adam, you have to be patient. So it's definitely something, it's like a crash diet, right? You can't diet for 5 days and expect to lose 20 pounds and then
Right.
go back to doing everything the same again. Unfortunately, you cannot. Very similar. It's really about taking a long game approach and doing the things right every day and letting it go. Because the good news on the side of all this is that Facebook is super smart and they will optimize the ads and eventually find your people, is what I say. They will find your people if the message is correct.
Now, what's crazy, Robin, is we're also seeing this with like Google and YouTube, Amazon ads, and all this. Like they're getting so stringent on what the words and the phrases that you can or cannot use, that they're
Yeah.
basically saying no. They're kicking you
Yeah.
out. They're shutting you down. It's making it really tough for the functional, the integrative, and the holistic practitioners out there to really get across and say, hey, if you've got this big health problem, I might be able to help you. Let's
Yeah.
connect and see if you're a good candidate. So the strategy here, guys, listen to what Robin's saying. Don't go too complex with the actual targeting.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's all in the message. It's
Yeah.
more in the headline and in the first 3 lines of what you write in that ad, what's above the fold. When you see a Facebook post, for instance, it'll see like 3 to 4 lines. It'll say "see more." What's right there and what's in that headline are more important than the target, the conversion or the campaign strategy,
Yeah.
traffic, leads, conversions, whatever. Just go for conversions. It's just easy. Put $50 a day into it. Be done with it, and
Yeah.
make your audience just use pick the basics: men, women, or both. Okay, cool. What age range? Cool. What's maybe like one basic interest?
Right. Yeah.
One basic interest that they like.
Yeah, and what's interesting is some of like for the weight loss, because I know a lot of coaches that help with weight loss. Things like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig Noom were typically a bunch of targets, but now Facebook does have some general health and wellness categories, so you could play around with some of those broader health categories or different, diets or cookbooks or paleo and things like that. So there's ways to have fun with it, but you can get a little too crazy and too granular and then mess up your ad strategy. So yes, Adam, it's better to keep it as simple as you can, and then adjust as you need to.
And this is the one cool thing. So even though we, as digital marketers, the back in the day, like when I first got into marketing advertising, you would say, okay, well, most of our people kind of live in this area of the country. So we'll put up a bunch of billboards and hope they see it.
Mm-hmm.
and, and it was kind of like a throw and see what sticks strategy, but you're kind of throwing it at the right wall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of over here. But when we got online, and it's like, cool, we could target people who, well, let's see, 44-year-old dudes who went to Princeton, who also like poker and they hate the color blue. Like we used
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. So it's becoming more and more important. And when you do it the right way, we're not kidding. You can bypass all the complexity because the internet has gotten crazy competitive. It's gotten crazy complex and it's only going to get worse.
Yep.
But we don't have to worry about that, do we?
No. No.
No, we don't.
No.
Not when you get in there and start doing things. So what are some other like, just from a campaign perspective, like you've been
Mm.
working with YouTube, you've been working with Google, you've been working with obviously Facebook forever,
Yeah.
and what's really cool, guys, is she's also our technical Sherpa. So the clients that we work with, she comes in and she does all the dirty work for them. So when it comes to
Yeah.
creating the campaigns and doing all this stuff, she does all the heavy lifting. She does all the technical work. So they don't have to.
Yeah.
So what are some other really cool, like little tidbits of how to uncomplicate if you're going to do paid advertising?
I think if you're just starting out and you're doing it yourself, you don't want to go too crazy with testing different ad sets and different audiences and different creative. Maybe test a few, but I've seen people testing 20 different ads, with 20 different images. And, it takes time to find an image. And, maybe you want to procrastinate from launching your business, or you're afraid, or you don't have the right mindset. So you kind of dig in and you start creating all these images for your ad. They're important, and actually the image, we could talk about that for a minute. The image
Yeah.
is the most important thing to get someone's attention in the news feed. So that is why a lot of people test a gajillion, but test two or three, and we want to make sure that they are bright, colorful, engaging. We like to use images without a lot of text on them or copy. Some people have success with a lot of copy on it, but again, that takes a long time to create. You have to make it look professional, and nobody has time for that unless you love doing it. So just a standard image is great.
One of the questions we get asked all the time, Robin, is should I do image or video?
Okay, right.
Right. And in my experience is like, well, it depends, right? They
Yeah.
both have their pros and cons.
Hmm.
If you're going to run a successful campaign to bring people, the whole goal of this is to turn cold traffic into piping hot prospects, right? Those are the
Yes.
marketing terms, or basically to take someone who go, to take them from who the heck are you to thank you for taking my credit card.
Yeah. Yep.
So what do you see, and I know, and I think I know what the answer is, like you see both working, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think some coaches, I'm also a health coach. I'm also an introvert. So I'm not one that's going to want to get on video and record myself over and over again and put out a video. But the good news is there's ways to get a video ad out without your face on it as well. So to answer the first question, video versus image, it really does depend. Whatever's going to connect with someone, and get them to just say, hey, what was that? Right? Like we've had some really interesting video campaigns for Move Think Smile, that I never thought were going to actually work, but they were just so disruptive in the newsfeed. We were like, what? And so it is about testing, and it also depends on your audience too, I think.
Well, I mean, I talked about this in a live a while ago, right? if you really want to progress, what's working for health and wellness experts more than anything right now? These three words: stop being generic.
Yes. Yes.
Use
Please.
stuff that gets people's attention. Understand your tribe. This is what's really important more than anything. Understand the people is who you want to reach. Understand it as the people who you want to work with. And even if you're in weight loss, which is the world's largest wellness category,
Mhm.
right? But let's take something more specific. Let's say you work with fibromyalgia,
Right.
or lupus, a much smaller category. Do you want to work with someone who doesn't like working with you?
No.
No. No. So you want to attract in the people who love working with you and you love helping. That's
Yeah.
the difference. That's what's working right now, is understanding how to repel away the less than amazing folks out there, or as they would
Yes.
say in the medical world, non-compliant.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's one of the things when you're running your ads, you don't want an ad that everybody's going to click on, Adam, because that's going to be super expensive and a big waste of your time, which is
Yeah.
why what you're saying, it's that headline and the first two lines, you want to call them out specifically so they know, hey, this is for me. Again, being compliant with Facebook, of course,
Yeah.
but just so that those right people will click, not the
Yeah.
wrong ones.
And guys, if you're watching this now or you're watching the replay later and you have a question, put it into the comments below. We'll be happy to jump on top of it, because our whole goal here is, it's really to help you take your health and wellness business to the next level, right? We're talking about it, and I'll say it right out now: wellness experts getting paid less than doctors is complete freaking nonsense. It is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing our hospital system. Okay. There is a time and a place for doctors. When you've got trauma, I've broken my knees several times and my ribs and other things and separated my hernias and, man, needed them. Glad they were there.
Yep.
But the thing is, and we all know this, the sickness based model doesn't work well with diseases and dysfunctions from lifestyle. Right. And so we're giving this to you because we want you guys to excel. We want you guys to do well. You deserve to make doctor money and have the freedom to enjoy it, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Robin, what else would you say? Anything else out there that you can kind of tips on running
Yeah, I
Facebook
mean,
ads?
one of the things you had asked about too was, Google or YouTube and all of that. And I think that there are definite benefits to all of those platforms. They're all a little bit different. So again, I wouldn't jump into them without knowing what you're doing unless you have unlimited funds to spend on advertising. I would start with Facebook. Again, that's where we start. I get the best results from there, and we're always looking at other things, so we'll know immediately if there's something
Yeah.
that's better, because we're testing right now. So because we don't want to have all of our eggs in one basket. But the good news is too, is in alignment with that communication message, is you want to have a good email sequence after you get somebody interested in the ad. So then you can communicate directly. And then that's sort of your owned, like you're not then on Facebook's platform, you're bringing them into your house, so to speak. And you
Right.
can continue to talk to them and invite them to work with you or book a call or
And again, I have to pipe in here. I agree with what you're saying, but just sending out emails to people is not going to
oh,
get them to want to become a client. All right.
point taken. Yes, it's the kind of email that is going to compel them to make an action. Yeah,
Right.
no. And you can spend hours with an email sequence of 40 emails, and it is a complete waste of your time. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying draw them in and then speak to them properly.
And what you want to do, and here's just a little point, we talk about the message, the positioning, the copy, and it is the most important thing. And we call the process think talk. And it's literally breaking all the grammatical rules out there. You want to resonate at someone's subconscious level, right? You want to talk like people think. And they're not thinking in collegiate terms. I can tell you that right now. And also you want to create what we call the ambulance effect. And if you
Mm,
think about it like this, let's say, oh, Robin, what's a big health problem out there? Name something.
heart attack.
Okay, okay,
Heart
cardiovascular
disease.
disease, all
Yeah.
right, or hypertension. All right,
Yeah.
let's call that health problem a bullet in the leg, right?
Yeah.
And right now, sitting outside your front door, there's someone in the street. They've got this bullet in the leg and they're bleeding out, and it's called heart disease. They call up for help, and 5 ambulances show up. Which one do they choose? Number one rolls up. Guy jumps out, hands him a free PDF that talks about all their band-aids. And when he's done, he said, for 97 bucks, we'll show you how to suture yourself up. Ambulance B comes in. Girl gets out, opens up the back doors, whips out a generator and a computer, hands the person a computer and a screen, puts on a 90-minute webinar. It talks about how amazing their ambulance is. And after they're done, they're like, hey, for 497 bucks, we'll show you how to apply a tourniquet. Ambulance C rolls up. The sirens aren't even on. They casually come around the corner. Don't even get out of the car. They don't even get out of the ambulance. Lady rolls down the window. She's like, hey, we're not taking patients right now. We're doing a launch next month. So go over to our website, put your email in. We'll send you about 4 videos that you can watch. You kind of figure out what's going on. We'll add some value in there. And then next week when we open the doors, we'll show you how to take the lead out with needle nose pliers. Ambulance D, blazing so fast. They hit the brakes. They go screaming past everybody else, right? Guy comes over. He's totally over caffeinated, proclaims, hey, we're giving our best bulletproof stuff away for free. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Sign up for our email list. And after the 183rd email is plopped into your spam folder, you could choose one of our 19,000 different packages. They start at $15.99 and go up to $29.99. And if you do it before midnight, we'll give you a special bonus. 12 free stitches valued at $19.97. And then Ambulance E rolls up. Paramedics get out of the car, go over to the injured, say, hey, want us to get that blood out of your leg? Minimize the pain and the scarrings, get you back to stronger than you were before you got shot? Be there for your family and career? Okay, let's go.
Yep.
Which ambulance do you choose?
Yep. It is D.
It is E. And this is what we call effective positioning, effective copywriting. And when you have that, you create the ambulance effect, you don't have to dork around with all this stuff when it comes to the digital advertising. It becomes so much easier and it just starts working. And this is what's working for health and wellness experts now. And it doesn't matter if you're a health coach, a wellness coach, or a life coach. And Robin's all freaking 3 of them. Like she's got me beat. I'm just an integrative nutrition health coach with it doesn't matter if you want to help people with cardiovascular heart disease or weight gain, or you want to help them lower their A1C score and combat diabetes. It doesn't matter if you want to help them with lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or any other autoimmune condition. It doesn't matter if you want to help them with IBS, IBD, or Crohn's or digestive issues or gut tract or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or diastasis or prolapse or incontinence or postpartum or pregnancy or any of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
If you're dead serious, and I mean this seriously, if you are dead serious about helping people transform their health for the long term, instead of just managing and mitigating the symptoms, and you're interested in taking your business to the next level, then Rob and I would like to invite you to come over to movethinksmile.com/change, because we might be able to help you do that. This is what we specialize in. We're really good at what we do. You can ask any of our clients. If you're in our Facebook group right now, you can go to our guide session. You can watch any of the interviews. And it's really this simple. Here's the strategy. You want your Facebook advertising to work? You want your YouTube advertising to work? Heck, you want your LinkedIn advertising to work? They can all work.
Yep.
They can all work really, really well. And you don't have to pay $50 a lead anymore. It's getting that message down. It's really getting your offer down. It's really getting what you're saying down. Now, there's some other super secret stuff that we do too, that, this episode would be like 5 hours long if we started going into just the highlights of those.
I got time.
But it comes down to this 3 things, guys. If you want to have a healthy health business, you got to take an integrative approach, just like you want to do with your clients. You got to look at the whole system. You got to get to the root cause. This means it's more than just your marketing. You got to get in there. You got to look at the way you're doing things. This is what we call, you got to change the structure so you're getting better results for your clients while freeing up your time a little bit. It's pretty cool. Like when I say you can net 6 figures while I work with clients 6 to 10 hours a week. Am I lying, Robin?
No.
So got to change the structure, then get in there, learn how to position yourself, use the ambulance effect, and change the frigging message that you're putting out there.
Yeah. We want you to be out there working and helping, because we got into this as health coaches because we wanted to make a change. So that's what we're trying to do here. Stop wasting time, stop wasting money, and pulling your hair out, because I know it's hard. I mean, I have a marketing background, and even marketing myself, I found challenges. You need a guide. You need that hand holding to get you through, because it's up and down for
And
sure.
when you do this right, change the structure, you change the message, you seriously change the income while making this world a healthier place, which is why we're doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
And our mantra is, and I'll be honest, it kind of comes from Zig Ziglar, the old one of the first motivational dudes out there, right? Because what
Mm-hmm.
Zig says is, help enough people get what they want, you can have whatever you want. But we've taken that, and our motto is, hey, you help enough people transform their health for the long term, you're allowed to enjoy life a little bit. You're allowed to have a healthy bottom line. You're allowed to not have to burn out trying to figure this stuff out. So if
Yeah.
that sounds good to you and you'd like to see if this might be a fit for your business, because we're not for everybody, you got to be dead serious more than anything about getting amazing results for your clients and helping them win every step of the way. If that's you, come over to movethinksmile.com/change and let's talk. Let's see what's possible. Robin, any other parting shots on that?
No, I would just invite everyone to take a deep breath if you've been struggling with Facebook, because you're my people and I hear you. And just know that there's ways around this. This is not the end of the world.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, everybody, come on over to movethinksmile.com/change. And seriously, let's talk soon. Robin, we'll be on next week. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks, Adam.